Barstool Bite-Sized, where we spend about 5 minutes with some of our favorite people from craft beer and craft chocolate. Today we hear from Sara Ratza of Ratza Chocolate in Tarpon Springs, Florida. Sara is board certified as a holistic health practitioner and uses medicinal herbs in many of her bars. She's also the author of the new book, Drinking Chocolate, Ancient Traditions for Modern Healing, 30 Easy Recipes and Botanical Guide, which you can order along with her bars from ratzachocolate.com. Two of my favorite bars from Ratza are the Aphrodite and Self-Love bars, and here Sara spends a few minutes talking about the botanicals in these bars and how they can potentially benefit our bodies. Listen in as Sara discusses chocolate for our love lives, loving ourselves, and loving cacao.
Chocolate is within itself an aphrodisiac, so it makes it really easy to make a bar that is going to help support that part of our body, because we can't say it really does anything. The herbs that are used in the Aphrodite bar are technically to help. A lot of them is with energy level, and it's going to help support our reproductive organs. A lot of those herbs in the Aphrodite are also Ayurvedic, which makes sense. It's like, oh, that's so funny, Ayurvedic, like herbs being, aphrodisiacs, that makes sense. So I usually just tell people that the bar is good for everyone. You're not going to feel effects. It's not going to be like you're taking a magic pill. Herbs don't work like that. Mm-hmm. But when I was coming up with the formulation for the Aphrodite specifically, I remember like being in my kitchen and mixing herbs in, and I always would lick the spoon and lick the bowl after I was done. And I almost immediately felt this warming effect. And so that's another thing that herbs will do to you, kind of, like most foods will give you some sort of effect, whether it's warming or cooling so this bar specifically is made to, I would say, I felt warm from the inside out. So, I think that is the best description that I personally felt with that bar. And so for the self-love is one of my favorite bars because it has the reishi and chaga mushrooms in it, which what we call immunomodulators, which are going to help support your immune system. So those are just really good herbs to have anyway in your diet. It has eleuthero, is Siberian ginseng, which is to help energy level. I think it also has the ashwagandha in that bar, which is also energy level, helping to support just your basic body functions of every day. So yeah, it's basically just everybody can have it. I always work with herbs that are going to be everybody friendly. I love mushrooms so much. There's just something about them that's kind of dark and grounding. For some reason, when I think of mushrooms, I always just think of really grounding effect. So I don't put enough in that people are going to go oh, I taste mushroom. And with reishi and chaga, I don't think necessarily give you when you think of cooking with mushrooms, it's not the same. So I think that it just gives a hint of the flavor. And I think that with all of the herbs that I'm putting in, you don't really specifically notice a lot of the herbs that people aren't sure of anyway. I don't even know if they'd be able to honestly pick them out. But that's what I think about mushroom and chocolate. I think they're a beautiful complement, especially when your sugar content is so low. So if you have a nice high cacao percentage, I think mushrooms are beautiful in chocolate. I try to make my chocolate with a lot of love and attention. I think that all food, with the energetics of food, and when you're making food that is a living thing, I think that the beans themselves are telling a story. I think that's what's so beautiful about craft chocolate that's different from other chocolates on the shelf at a grocery store, is that we find beans that I feel they're made with love. Bringing that to Tarpon Springs, Florida, or wherever else they go, I feel like I'm educating people through my chocolate. And I've had somebody before tell me that my chocolate was a journey for their palate. And I want really for people to experience what chocolate really is, and that chocolate isn't milk and sugar, that it actually is this living, it's a seed from a plant. So it's a very, really special thing. So I hope to convey that through my chocolate.
You can learn more about Ratza Chocolate at ratzachocolate.com or on Instagram at ratzachocolate_Tarpon Springs. I'll link to both in the show notes. The music today was by my dear friend Anna P.S. My name is David Nilsson. Thanks for listening to Bean to Barstool Bite-Sized.